another comeback win.
Obviously, I've had a good start to my career. I mean, I've been blessed to be in a great organization with a lot of great players around me, making my job a lot easier. But I know it's going to take a long time of consistency if I want to be where I want to be at in the end. And I'm lucky enough that I just have a lot of great people around me that I have a chance to go out there every single year and compete.
Nick, he's right. He's lucky. He got placed into a great system with a great coach, with great weapons, and an entire sort of team around him built towards his strengths. That being said, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
What is Mahomes' ability to rally the Chiefs say about him, not just on the field, but getting those guys in the right mindset off of it as well?
Listen, Chris Canty, he is already one of the greatest clutch performers in NFL history. Already. We look at Tom Brady's legendary comebacks. Of active quarterbacks, only Brady has him trumped in double-digit playoff comebacks. He's played for 2 years. 2 years he's done it. He's already top 5 all time in double-digit playoff comebacks. He's played 5 career playoff games, okay? The first one, they crushed Indy. You know what I mean? The game was never in doubt. The second one, they're down 14-0 at the half. They're down 10 points against New England entering the fourth quarter. They took the lead in that fourth quarter. Defense gave it up. They took the lead again. Defense gave it up. He drove them down for a field goal in the final 30 seconds and then doesn't take the field in overtime because of a coin flip. His third playoff game, they're down 24-0. He enters with a 51-7 run. His fourth playoff game, they're down 10-0. He enters with a 35-7 run. And his fifth playoff game, the Super Bowl, they're down 20-10 with 8 minutes left. He is having the worst game of his career, and he enters with a 21-0 run. Kenny, he's, at this point, a Frankenstein's monster quarterback. He's got Rodgers' arm. He's got Elway's toughness and escapability with Brady's clutch gene. Check, check, check. The best arm I've ever seen, the best sense of the moment I've ever seen in toughness, and the most clutch player I've ever seen. He's all three of those guys rolled into one. That's how you become a legend after 36 career games.
Yeah, this performance that he had in the fourth quarter shows me that he's the best quarterback in the National Football League, and he's arguably the best player in the National Football League. I mean, to have 3 double-digit comeback victories in 3 consecutive postseasons, we've never seen, 3 consecutive postseason games, we've never seen that before in the NFL. So the fact that he's capable of being able to do that, I think that speaks to his competitive greatness. John Wooden, in my opinion, the greatest coach that's ever lived, had that pyramid of success, and at the top of it was competitive greatness, being at your best when your best was required. The Chiefs waited till the absolute last moment that they possibly could to mount a comeback, and then that guy out there, Pat Mahomes, he went out there and did it. And his teammates believe he could do it because they'd seen him do it before. Confidence comes from demonstrated performance. This guy has done it routinely. They've shown that they have the ability to put up big quarters. I mean, they've had 8 quarters this year where they've had 17 points or more. The next closest team is the Dallas Cowboys with 5.
Wow.
And in 2 of those instances came in the playoffs. So, I mean, that just shows how good Pat Mahomes is and how explosive this offense can be, and which is why Nick and I felt really good about the Kansas City Chiefs coming into this season, because their offense gave them multiple pathways to be able to win, but it all starts and ends with Pat Mahomes playing great, and he played great yesterday in the fourth quarter.
Nick, he's 24 years old. He doesn't turn 25 till September. The fact that you could rattle off everything you just did at 24 years of age, to have that poise, that confidence, and then clearly that skill set is remarkable.
There's 2 players prior to Mahomes in American team sports history that his experience in the pros and his age have a resume comparable. One is Jim Brown. Jim Brown, his first 2 years in the NFL, was instantly the best player in the NFL. MVP, made it to a championship game. They didn't win it, but he's a running back. Can't really blame him. His team didn't win it. The other is Lou Alcindor turned Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The moment he walked in the league, he was top 3 player in the league. By year 2, he was the best player in the league. He won a finals MVP and an MVP and a championship in his first 2 years. Now it's Patrick Mahomes. Year 1, he quarterbacks one of the 5 top scoring offenses in the history of football and has one of the 5 single greatest seasons from a quarterback position in the history of football. Year 2, as a starter, he executes in his first playoff game the 4th greatest comeback in playoff history. He executes in his 3rd playoff game, the Super Bowl, the 2nd greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. And he now has more touchdowns in a single postseason than any player ever with 12. That's what he's done. He's played 36 games. I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time. What I'm saying is, if someone were going to become that, their career would start something awful like this.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's about to be the richest of all time.
Oh.
I mean, Clark Hunt was talking about how they want to get that deal done in the next 12 to 15 months. I have a hard time seeing Pat Mahomes not being paid what he's worth before his 25th birthday.
At the beginning of the game last night, they celebrated the top 100 players, all in the red jersey, the greatest players in NFL history. And right before you tweeted, I said, I bet you could see Patrick Mahomes out there. You tweeted it 5 seconds later.
It was a shame that Mahomes was playing. He couldn't be couldn't be out there with those other ones.
Said the same thing. It's better.
What do you think he says? 5 years, $200 million, fully guaranteed. Sign it. Sign up for it right now.
Right now.
5 years, $200 million.
I was going to say 5 years, 185, but you're saying you're saying 4.
All right, your morning. So the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2020 is now set. Here are your 5 new members: Steve Atwater, Isaac Bruce, Steve Hutchinson, Edgerrin James, and Troy Polamalu. Nick, they get this one right?
I think they did. I love this class. There probably could have been 8 Hall of Famers. Some people were going to be left out. The one that makes me happiest is Edge. I thought Edgerrin James was going to maybe be forgotten to history a little bit. He was a dominant dual threat running back throughout his career. His numbers speak for themselves. I was surprised he got in, but he would, if I had a ballot, he would have gotten my vote. So I was very happy. Obviously, all the others very deserving as well.
Yeah, to your point, Edge, probably the best 2 years start to an NFL career for a running back that we've ever seen in the National Football League. But you're right, all of those candidates were deserving to get into the Hall of Fame. Sometimes you have some lean years where you can make an argument that not 5 belong in this class, but not this year. All of those guys belong in the Hall of Fame.
And Polamalu was a no-doubter first ballot. No doubter.
All right, moving on to Lamar Jackson. As expected, the Ravens quarterback was named MVP Saturday night. Lamar joins Tom Brady as the only unanimous selections in NFL history. A well-deserved honor after the season that he put together. Nick, did Lamar deserve to be a unanimous selection?
100%, because Russell Wilson fell off a bit at the end of the season. That was his only real competition. But I guess I thought Patrick Mahomes was unanimous last year. I'm shocked Mahomes wasn't unanimous last year, that there's only been one other unanimous selection. But Lamar 100% deserves it. He was sensational in basically every single regular season game.
Yeah, I think the number 2 was a little ways off. Russell Wilson probably had an argument to make in there before we hit the calendar month of December. But just look at what Lamar did. I mean, 43 total touchdowns, 3,600 yards passing, 1,200 yards rushing. To me, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer.
The 1,200 yards rushing still seems make-believe.
All right, on to the Chiefs now. And after his 222nd career win, Andy Reid finally hoisted his first Lombardi trophy last night. Nick, does this cement Reid as a Hall of Famer?
1,000%, without question. The Fox guys said it to him after the game, and they are absolutely right that he hasn't been inducted yet, but he is now a lock. And Canty, with respect to your guy, Tom Coughlin, Pete Carroll, Mike Tomlin, and a few others, to me, this makes Andy Reid the second best coach of this millennia, of the 2000s. Belichick, obviously, miles away from everyone else, but Andy Reid, because of such great regular season success for 20 years, now the Super Bowl ring as well, to me, he's the second best coach the last 20 years.
Yeah, what is it, 21 years as a head coach? And he's got 222 wins when you include the postseason? So that just tells you he's averaging double-digit wins every single year. So there's been sustained excellence from Andy Reid as a head coach. And this was the only thing that was missing from his resume. Coming into this game, he had the most wins for a coach not to have a Super Bowl title. I'm glad he got a chance to be able to hold up the Lombardi, because nobody deserved it more than Andy Reid.
Yep.
All right, well, with the Chiefs' victory comes a 49ers loss. The question going into the game was whether Jimmy Garoppolo could carry San Francisco to a win. And the Niners quarterback almost did, coming up just short. Finished 20 of 31 with 219 yards, 1 touchdown, but with 2 costly interceptions. Here is Garoppolo after the disappointing loss.
It's an unreal feeling, something I've never felt before. I'm sure that none of these guys have felt before. It's but that, you know, the one positive you can take out of it is guys care about it. Guys care about each other. Guys care about this organization. You know, a lot of good came from this year. There's it's hard to look at it right now and see that good, but you know, a couple days down the line, you know, maybe look back on it a little bit.
All right, Nick, put a grade on Jimmy G's performance in the Super Bowl.
Oh, a D. and it's being generous. If in college you missed the first week of class and then you skip the final, doesn't really matter how you do in the intervening 3 months. Jimmy G started the game terribly. The first drive, they could have gotten 7 at stalls because of a failures in the passing game. The second drive, he throws a horrifying pick. The exact pick we were talking about all weeks long about why Jimmy G is good, but there's a but with him. And then at the end of the football game, he was abysmal. After being sensational in that middle section. Final 12 minutes, he was 3 of 11, 36 yards with a passer rating of 3. 3. He after the Mahomes pick, they put the ball in his hands on 2nd and 9, up 10, chance to win the Super Bowl. Incompletion.